fly in the sky. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
It's always hard to leave what you know, but it's also exciting to head for something brand new.
Hey, what's going on with y'all? Fellas, ladies, what's good? It's good to see y'all. The word for today is diligence. And that's exactly what I'm going to be today. It's diligent. I'm going to remain to be diligent for these next, 2 months? 60 days or so? Perhaps longer. But I like to take my goal a little, start off small, start off short. Don't push myself too far, then I just kind of stop all at once. Obviously, I go through these days where I want to go back. I want to go back to that demon that's been holding me back. Why do I want to go back to something that's been holding me back so long? Like it loves me, like I love it. The love is not in return. See, love is everything. Love is powerful. Love is beautiful, especially when it comes back in return. When it's a two-way street, love is gorgeous. It's the most wonderful thing that you can have.
Love is the best feeling.
Problem is, I didn't receive that same love in return. Now, basically, to start off this whole 90-day challenge is what I'm working towards, just to give you a little description and things of what I've been going through. And I know I've said these things before, but in case you didn't hear, here it is again. Basically, how I started my day off every morning before I went to work was to stop at the store and grab me a little drink that drink down, go to work, take break, grab another couple drinks. If I ain't already got them sitting in the car waiting for me. So you already know what that means. But I'm so used to it. It's just self-medicating. This is how I deal with things. This is how I deal with my anxiety, the jitters, the bugs, the butterflies. There's a meeting going on in my head that I wasn't invited to. A party, if you will. Not on my behalf, but talking about me. And I'm trying to get into this conversation. It's almost like I'm looking from the outside, can't hear what's going on inside, but the way I look at it, all I see is two fools fighting amongst each other. I don't know who started it. Who started this predicament? Can I blame the environment? Can I blame the people I've seen doing this, my role models? Comes a time when I got to take responsibility for myself. So a 90-day challenge, I want y'all to come along with me. Maybe some of y'all never even touched anything. Maybe y'all stay sober. That's cool. This is the way I deal with my things. Not the best way to deal with things because it just ends up making it worse, you know.
Remember when I talked about earlier that funny feeling we sometimes get? Well, it's happened to me, lots. I remember once it was the first day of school in the 2nd grade.
I go back to things. Looking back, 2nd grade. The reason why I go back that far is I want to compare my anxiety that I felt that day. And that was the first time I remember feeling anxiety. As a matter of fact, that was the first time I remember a lot of things. Was when I started to truly remember. What they say you get a memory at like 6 or 4 or something. You don't really remember what the fuck is going on there unless it's trauma. I remember some of the trauma things, but as far as memories where I felt my first thing of anxiety.
I felt like I had a million butterflies in my stomach, all trying to get out.
I felt butterflies. I really, truly remember feeling nervous. I've always been that type. I remember I used to run out of the daycare center because I didn't feel right in the environment I was at, but then I heard that they took me to another one and I liked it there. Because something in the air didn't feel right. At least not for me. Maybe I was always able to sense trouble, sense danger. Sometimes I get attracted to that danger, and that's a problem. Now, 2nd grade, that anxiety that I felt the first day going into class, being nervous around all these new people, all these new kids, a new environment. Matter of fact, I moved from many, many, many miles away via airplane, 15 fucking hours, and here I am. So this whole thing was different for me. Separation anxiety, trying to meet new friends and having to talk to people that I never really seen or met before. That's something new.
You know, moving and changing can be a little frightening. But taking new steps and making new starts can also be full of wonderful surprises.
Now, I have this anxiety now at 34 years old. We fast forward, and I feel the same way. And I felt like the anxiety wasn't like, it didn't continue from second grade. It actually stopped. I was pretty calm, cool, collected when I felt comfortable around my surroundings. But as I started to get older, I say like my late 20s, I started to do things that were a little bit unorthodox, you know, for my normal routine. I could be very unorthodox, but these was very, you know, not characteristic for me, these changes that I made. But life is full of changes. Sometimes I regret them, but at the same time, I'm glad they happened, because I wouldn't have learned what I learned today if it wasn't for what I did and the mistakes that I made. I learned to only get smarter, only get stronger, and don't let things pull me down. We all deal with it. I mean, 2020 was a hell of a year for all of us. We all know that. I mean, a lot of us was getting gassed. All the lies. But what do you say? I mean, only thing you can do is like, you got to just be your own and really try to say, did these things make sense? Does it make sense that at this year, even though before all these years, the anxiety didn't get worse, but now at 34, it almost feels like it's worse than what it was. There's no way it can be the same, because how many problems does a second grader have? Besides having to worry about going to school, maybe some drama at the house, but how many problems does a fucking second grader really have compared to a grown man and the grown problems I have to deal with and the things I went through to deal with them mentally? Call it a cop-out, an excuse, or self-medicating, whatever. If it wasn't that, it's probably pills. Some of y'all are addicted to these damn pills that these doctors give you. You an alcoholic on that too, but you gonna judge. Look, man, we gotta look at ourselves in the mirror, man. We just gotta understand things, that we all going through things. We all struggling. We all trying to find ways to escape. And that's why I can respect anybody who's never touched it. My brother, for instance, I can respect him. He's nothing like me in that terms, you know. But I'm still here. I'm still living. I'm still trying. That's the beauty of it. I've been going on clean now. No booze, no drinking for the past almost 6 weeks going on. And it's fantastic. I mean, look at me.
That was good. Yeah. What's that? Talented kid.
Now, adaptation, that's the second word. Adaptation. And me trying to adapt to this new lifestyle, like trying to like do things that I've been doing for so long, self-medicated, trying to do them different. Just a little bit of tree. Mary Jane ain't never hurt nobody. Helps me to eat when I'm feeling depressed. Because a lot of the time, like compared to how I used to eat, I don't even feel like eating at all unless I'm smoking. And there was a point in time when I wasn't smoking anything or doing anything at all. You see how things changed. It's like I got to refine myself, refine who I was. It was no thing for me to just go and talk to a stranger, talk to a female, whatever. It was no thing. You want to talk about shit. You have anxiety or depression. You ain't doing none of those things. Really. Got to try to go back and find who he was. But when you go back and you look at those things, you're like, I can't be who I was before. But I got to also see the mental drive, and I got to just see the routine. It's all about routine. Repetition. Very important. What is it worth it? I mean, what made me go through this challenge? What made me want to do this is because, man, I remember I woke up, man, I was having these stomach pains, and it got to the point, not just waking up, the stomach pains was getting to the point that when I was drinking, I felt the stomach pains, and the drinking in general would numb those pains. But if I can feel it while I'm sipping, that's not good, man. And just because I stopped, don't mean it's, you know, the pain stopped in general. I don't feel like I felt it, but I still feel a little numbness in certain areas. All the way in the intestinal area, so it's not a liver situation, but it's like insides are probably all cut up and inflamed from all that drinking and shit, barely eating. So it's time for me to make a change. I'm going to start off 90 days. I can at least do my best to do that. I can't remember the last time I went 90 days. It's been years. And a little detour I took on the other side of town doesn't count. That little journey I took for a couple years doesn't count. It was just on hold. That's all it was. My problems were just on hold, dealing with another problem until I went back to the problem that I forgot about somehow. I was distracted by another journey. And I did like that journey. Feels good to say ain't touched that bullshit in over a year. I ain't even counting. I ain't got no desire to go back to it. It's whatever. Now back to the real deal. Another thing I want to fight. Next thing, I got to kick the smoking habit again for the 5th time. I got to karate chop that motherfucker. For the, I don't know how many times. The 5th time, I think. Cold turkey. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting harder. They put more stuff in there. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Can't really 100% say for sure, but you know what? It feels that way. It feels like every time I quit, it's gotten harder. So I got to keep that in mind. Is it worth it? It ain't worth it. But I'm going to do my best to try and strive through this and, stay strong 90 days. I'm going to keep you informed. I ain't going to make a video every day about it, but I'm going to keep you informed and make other videos in between that. I'm doing my best to make some reciprocity and just come back and just, maintain it and be a little bit more active like I was doing. I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of y'all out there. I don't know if I should be giving out the government names, but, you know who you are. Those who hit me up on the gram, appreciate you. Thank you for the love, donations, all that is beautiful. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the motivation to come back. I'm glad all y'all telling me how much I helped you and how much it really does make me feel good. And I'm glad that I can do those things because that's what it's for, also to help myself as well. Because, you can't always be 100% for you. It's always got to be a little selfish in there. It's got to be something in there. As long as it's for a good cause, though. So y'all take it easy out there. Y'all make sure y'all be safe. And catch you on the next one.
Couldn't resist one more ride. We all ride a merry-go-round of feelings, going round and round, up and down from one emotion to another. And I bet if you think back over your day, you'll realize that you've been sad, confused, happy, or excited at least once already. I know I have. But one of the best things about feelings is sharing them. See you next time.